The internet just exploded again. Just when you thought the Erica, Mena, and Mendeecees drama had finally calmed down, a new legal bombshell has shaken the entire reality TV world to its core. Fans are in disbelief, court documents are flying across social media, and everyone is asking the same question. What did Mendeecees do now? Well, buckle up, because Erica Mena has officially taken him to court, and it's not just any lawsuit. A judge has reportedly frozen all of Mendeecees' bank accounts following a high-stakes child support case that Erica filed in complete silence. No warning, no press, just cold paperwork and a demand for accountability. Insiders say Mendeecees was blindsided. Yandy is devastated, and Erica? She's done playing nice. The drama has taken a turn no one saw coming. And now, with financial records, courtroom tears, and shocking betrayals leaking from every direction, fans are glued to their screens like it's the season finale of Love and hip-hop itself. How did we get here? What evidence did Erica bring? And what was Mendeecees hiding that forced the judge to take such a drastic step? Stay right there, because what you're about to hear will change everything. Erica Mena sat in the empty conference room, her palms pressed flat against the mahogany table, heart pounding like a drum in her chest. Outside, the courthouse buzzed with whispers, paparazzi waiting to pounce, fans speculating wildly, Mendeecees' car idling at the curb. She closed her eyes and let the weight of what she'd done settle in. She had filed the paperwork in secrecy, signed her name beneath the lines that would strip Mendeecees of his financial freedom. And now the judge had ruled. All his accounts were frozen pending the child support trial. No warning, no negotiation, just a swift strike that left him reeling. Mendeecees Harris was in his upscale living room, phone glued to his ear, voice rising in panic as he barked at his manager. How can she do this without saying a word? Why wasn't I notified? The manager's voice was calm but firm. The court doesn't owe him a heads up. Erica's attorneys filed everything correctly. The judge acted on the evidence she presented. Behind him, stacks of bills, financial statements, images of his various properties lay spread across the coffee table like a cruel game board. His hands trembled as he slapped a framed photo of Yandy on the table. "I can't believe she did this," he muttered, running a hand through his hair. "Yandy's going to hate me forever." Back in the courthouse, Erica's lawyer, a steely woman named Monique, placed a thick folder of documents in front of the clerk. Each page detailed the expenses Erica had incurred during her pregnancy and after the baby's birth, medical bills, prenatal appointments, even childcare costs while she worked on her nonprofit. The numbers were staggering, but Monique had calculated every dollar down to the cent, leaving no loophole for Mendeecees' team to exploit. Erica watched as the clerk stamped the motion granted, the judge's signature glaring back at her in bold italics. She felt tears prick her eyes, not from guilt but from relief. Finally, she would get the support she deserved. Meanwhile, in an adjacent hallway, Yandy Smith paced in a fitted hoodie, phone pressed to her ear. She was distraught, torn between sympathy for Erica's struggle as a new mother and outrage at Mendeecees' betrayal. "I just want him to be a father," she said quietly, voice cracking. "If she's owed that money, he should pay it. But why did Erica have to go this far?" Her friend's voice crackled through the speaker. "You know Erica. She doesn't play around. She felt like you were living their lives together while she raised his child alone. He left her no choice." Yandy stared at the polished marble floor, memories of her own pregnancy with Mendeecees flashing through her mind. Late-night heart-to-hearts, baby kicks felt across both their bellies, the promise they made to face parenthood together. Now those memories felt like shards of glass. Outside the courtroom doors, fans waited with phones raised high. Gossip bloggers live-streamed every moment. Erica Mena has arrived. She looks calm, collected, like she's ready for war. Comments scrolled in real time. "Team Erica all day. Mendeecees is in trouble. I can't believe Yandy is going to testify." Whispers of a possible Yandy courtroom appearance spread like wildfire. Some speculated the judge might subpoena her to testify to Mendeecees' financial habits. Others believed she'd stay out of it to protect her own reputation. Through it all, Erica kept her gaze steady forward, ignoring the flashing lights and murmured questions. She'd done what she had to do. In those same minutes, Mendeecees struggled to gather funds from friends and family to cover his immediate bills. Rent on an apartment he could barely visit, maintenance payments on a car that wouldn't start without a bailout, and legal fees for a lawyer he only now realized he needed. He called his mother, voice raw. "They froze everything, Mama. I have nothing in my bank. How am I supposed to fight this?" She tried to soothe him. "Baby, you've always been a fighter. You'll get through this." Just figure out why Erica felt betrayed enough to make this move. Hung up, Mendeecees sank onto his couch, measuring the distance between his bright past and this uncertain future. Back in the conference room, Erica met with Monique and her own mother, a petite woman with fierce eyes. "Did you hear?" Erica whispered. "The accounts are frozen. He can't withdraw a dime." Her mother smiled sadly. "You did the right thing, sweetheart. You taught him a lesson about priorities." Erica nodded, but inside she churned with conflicting emotions. She wanted the money to provide for her child. Yes, but she'd also wanted Mendeecees to step up voluntarily to show he cared. Freezing his funds felt like a double-edged sword, vindication tinged with bitterness. The media frenzy kicked into overdrive. A popular entertainment blog posted a headline, "Erica Mena's lawsuit rocks, love and hip-hop. Mendeecees left penniless." The comment section exploded. Finally, he's getting a taste of his own medicine. Yandy should follow suit. I wonder how he'll pay child support now. A rival network's pundit compared the move to a chess grandmaster's trap. Erica laid the legal groundwork in secret, then executed the perfect checkmate. Clips of Erica's previous teary confessions played in the background, juxtaposed with new footage of her walking into court, chin up, determination blazing in her eyes. Viewers couldn't get enough. In an unexpected twist, a clerk leaked a redacted transcript of Erica's deposition. In it, she described sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, and juggling work to pay the bills while Mendeecees toured and appeared on TV. "I begged him for help," she said, voice choking. "I sent him screenshots of my bank balance of unpaid bills. He ignored me." Fans were floored. "I didn't know it was that bad," one tweeted. "This changes everything," wrote another. Suddenly, Erica wasn't just a scorned mother. She was a hero for all single parents. Meanwhile, Yandy decided to attend the next hearing. She slid into a wooden pew behind Mendeecees' legal team, face hidden under a baseball cap. When the judge called her name as a potential witness, murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Is she going to break her silence? She stood slowly, heart racing, but the judge only needed her signature on a document confirming her non-involvement in the financial decisions. They didn't call her to testify. She breathed a sigh of relief as she signed and sat back down. For now, she'd avoided being dragged deeper into the battle. As part one of the hearing concluded, Erica and Monique stepped into the hall. A reporter shoved a mic in Erica's face. "How do you respond to critics who say freezing his accounts hurts the child too?" Erica paused, voice measured. "The court is holding him accountable for past neglect. This action ensures my daughter's future is secure. That's all that matters." Cameras clicked. Fans praised her poise. Unbothered queen, she knows what's up. Mendeecees messed up big time. Yet behind closed doors, Mendeecees was drafting an appeal. He discovered a clause in the state law that permitted partial freezing only if a non-custodial parent refused voluntary support. Now, he planned to argue the move was excessive. As his lawyer outlined the strategy, Mendeecees felt a spark of hope. Perhaps he could recover some access to his money, but only if he could prove he'd never shirked his responsibilities. Erica, meanwhile, left the courthouse with her mother. She breathed in the crisp air, feeling the sun on her face. Part of her celebrated the victory. Another part mourned the distance growing between her child's parents. She laid a gentle hand on her mother's arm. "I just want peace, Mama," she whispered, "and I want him to be a part of her life, but he needs to show he's serious." In the distance, Mendeecees' car pulled away, a plume of exhaust trailing behind. as he accelerated toward an uncertain destiny. And as fans watched the live updates, one thing was clear: the legal war had only just begun. The freeze was a powerful opening move, but the real battle for custody, respect, and maybe even reconciliation would play out in the seasons to come. Part 1 ends here, but the courtroom doors remained open, and the drama was far from over. Mendeecees drove in silence, hands tight on the steering wheel as he replayed the morning's events in his mind. The city seemed different now. Every billboard, every corner newsstand, every passing billboard with his face and Erica's name twisted into headlines felt like a punch in the gut. He'd spent half his life building a brand, only to have it crumble in one lethal stroke. He parked in a side street, stepped out, and stared at his reflection in a shop window. The man looking back at him was gaunt, eyes hollow. He wondered how he'd let things get so out of control. Back at the courthouse, Mena grabbed a bottled water and glanced at her phone. Monique had just texted, "We filed the next motion Monday. Rest this weekend." Erica typed back a single word, "Understood." She'd arranged a private meeting with a financial expert to discuss tracing hidden assets. Rumors swirled that Mendeecees had offshore accounts and shell corporations set up years ago, and Erica intended to bring every dollar into the light. She pictured her daughter's future, a stable, secure life funded not by charity, but by the man who helped create her. Yandy Smith sat alone in her car outside the press school where her twins waited for the bus. She watched parents hug their kids for photos before slipping them into backpacks and waving them off. She missed those chaotic mornings, the mess of lunches and tiny shoes. Mendeecees had always handled drop-offs, shared school fundraisers, parent-teacher meetings. Now she was doing it all alone, and it weighed on her like a boulder. On her lap lay an envelope, papers from Mendeecees' lawyer outlining a proposed settlement. It offered a fraction of what Erica demanded and included strict non-disclosure terms. Yandy folded the envelope shut. She couldn't sign away her integrity, her voice. She slid the papers back into her purse and started the car without looking at them again. Inside his plush office, Mendeecees' appeal team gathered around a dark wood table scattered with legal pads and spreadsheets. His head attorney, Harold, tapped a stack of documents. "The judge may have overreached," he said. "We'll request an emergency hearing to lift the freeze or at least secure a partial bond so he can access funds for basics." Another lawyer, Tasha, nodded. "We also found a clause that requires co-parenting communication before filing such motions. We can argue Erica failed to attempt mediation." Mendeecees leaned back in his chair, relief and fear warring in his chest. Relief that hope remained, fear that every argument would be broadcast publicly. Another headline splattering across social feeds. Across town, a podcaster live-streamed an impromptu roundtable. "Is Mendeecees toast, or will he swing back?" She asked two panelists, a former reality star and a gossip blogger. The star shrugged dramatically. "He's in deep. Freezing bank accounts, that's nuclear." Erica played that perfectly. The blogger smirked. "He might find a loophole, but the damage is done. Fans see him as deadbeat dad now." Comments scrolled. "He deserves it. Yandy should sue too." Erica's playing chess. The string cut to a clip of Mendeecees from years ago, holding his newborn son and promising commitment. The contrast stung. Young father full of hope versus current man on the brink of ruin. Later that afternoon, Erica attended a charity gala in support of single mothers. Dressed in a sleek black dress, she moved through the crowd, accepting congratulations and heartfelt hugs. Women thanked her for fighting not just for her child, but for every mother forced to chase support from absent partners. Whispers followed her, "She's fearless. I'd never take on one like that." A reporter cornered her at the bar. "How do you stay strong?" he asked. Erica took a slow sip of her drink. "I think of her," she said, tapping her stomach. "She deserves everything and more. Sometimes you have to stand alone so she never feels alone." Applause rippled through the nearby tables. Phones raised to capture the moment. Meanwhile, Yandy drove to a lawyer's office for a routine consultation. She didn't want to join the fray, but questions about her own custody rights and future income weighed on her. Entering the waiting room, she saw Mendeecees' cousin sitting across from her attorney, reviewing papers. Their eyes met, awkward recognition. The cousin looked away quickly. Yandy's heart raced. Was her ordeal about to spill over into her own legal battles? She steeled herself, reminding her lawyer she sought privacy and professionalism, not spectacle. Mendeecees, restless and unable to face another night in his penthouse, called an old friend, a fellow artist who'd been through public scandals. They met at a dimly lit lounge. Two figures hunched in a corner booth. "I'm scared," Mendeecees admitted when they were alone. "If they freeze every account, I can't support my kids, my mom, nobody." His friend clasped his shoulder. "You need a plan. Show you're serious. Offer a large bond. Public apology. Something. Regain sympathy before Erica turns into a hero and you into a villain." Mendeecees nodded uncertainly. He knew he needed a move, but which? On Sunday morning, Erica and Monique sat by the pool at Erica's home, legal pads and laptops at the ready. They reviewed recent bank statements revealed through court orders, transactions to business partners, large wire transfers labeled consulting fees, cryptic entries pointing to direct deposits into a shared account Erica had never known about. "We'll subpoena those records," Monique said. "That money swings this case further in your favor." Erica stared at the sunlit water, imagining that money funding her child's education, a safe home, first braces, a summer camp trip. Her resolve hardened. Yandy, feeling the weekend's tension, texted Mendeecees. "We need to talk about our future. This legal war is ripping us apart." She stared at the blue ticks, then deleted the message. She wasn't ready for confrontation. She needed clarity on her own feelings, hurt, anger, longing, and she couldn't invite more drama into her life until she found it. Back in a high-rise conference room, Mendeecees' team prepared their appeal filing. Harold delivered the bad news. "Judge has set a preliminary hearing for Tuesday morning. We file tonight." Mendeecees exhaled, a knot in his stomach. "I'm ready," he said, though his voice trembled. "Just tell me what to do." As the team outlined speaking points, express regret, present financial plan, request limited unfreezing, Mendeecees scribbled notes. He practiced lines in his head. "I want to support my child. I regret not communicating. I never intended harm." It felt scripted, hollow, but he knew he had no choice. Monday evening, gossip accounts speculated that Mendeecees would appear in a tearful Eve apology special before the hearing, but insiders debunked it. "He's not ready to face cameras again," one source texted. "He needs to focus on the hearing." The whispers unsettled him. Every rumor felt like a weight added to his shoulders. He rented a small office to practice his testimony privately, pacing in front of a mirror, voice breaking as he rehearsed. Each "I'm sorry" felt like a betrayal of pride, but he clung to the hope it might earn him partial relief. Erica awoke early Tuesday to find a news alert. Mendeecees preps tearful plea in court to unfreeze assets. She scrolled. He'd been spotted entering the courthouse, face grim. She paused, a flash of empathy warming her chest. Could she forgive if he showed genuine remorse? Part of her ached for partnership. Another part shielded itself from false promises. Minutes later, Monique called. "We need final tweaks on our witness list." Erica dressed, her reflection firm and determined. She grabbed her files and left, heading into the eye of the storm again. As the sun rose on Tuesday, the city braced for another chapter. Hearings would resume, alliances would shift, and one question loomed. Could Mendeecees fight his way back, or had Erica's strategic strike sealed his financial fate? Part 2 closes as both players prepare for the morning showdown, the tension crackling like electricity, ready to ignite the next explosive twist. The courtroom doors swung open just as dawn light filtered through the tall windows, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Mendeecees stepped inside, shoulders squared but eyes haunted, flanked by Harold and Tasha. Mena arrived moments later with Monique by her side, calm and composed in a simple dress, files clutched to her chest. The bailiff called the session to order, and the judge peered over her glasses, voice measured. "We are here on the defendant's emergency motion to modify or lift the asset freeze. Counsel, you may proceed." Harold rose first, sliding a folder across the table. "Your Honor, Mr. Harris acknowledges Erica's right to support. He is prepared to post a bond covering 50% of the demand, ensure minimal access for childcare and living expenses, and enter into a co-parenting mediation." He spoke smoothly, but his words echoed in the vast chamber. The freeze had crippled Mendeecees' ability to pay even basic bills. Monique stood next, voice firm. "Your Honor, the bond offer is insufficient. The freeze was ordered due to documented neglect, screenshots of unpaid medical bills, billing statements for infant formula and daycare, photos of Erica struggling to work 2 jobs." Mr. Harris did not respond to her pleas. "This freeze ensures our client's daughter does not face further hardship." She tapped the folder. "We also have evidence of undisclosed assets, offshore transfers, shell companies. Erica seeks full transparency." As each side presented, the gallery murmured. Fans streamed the hearing on social media, live commenting. "Fans are shocked." One tweet read, "Mendeecees trying to wiggle out again." Another, "Erica's lawyer is ruthless." Emotions ran high in that move. Yandy sat behind them, hood still low, tears threatening but suppressed. She felt like a spectator in her own life, watching father of her children battle mother of his illegitimate child over money instead of unity. The judge leaned forward. "I will review the bond proposal and underlying evidence. Hearings will continue at 2 p.m. In the meantime, I expect both parties to exchange full financial disclosures. Failure to comply will lead to contempt." As the gavel fell, the tension rippled through the room like electric current. Outside, paparazzi swarmed, microphones thrust at Mendeecees. "Will you post the bond, sir? Any regrets?" He shook his head, voice hoarse. "I'm doing what I need to do for my kids. That's all." Erica appeared beside him, reporters pivoting. "Ms. Mena, do you believe this bond is enough?" She paused, answer ready. "My attorney will speak to that. Right now, I'm focused on my daughter." She looked past the microphones as if signaling to an unseen child, and the lenses clicked. Fans praised her restraint. The family was left divided, but she remains unbothered. At lunch, Mendeecees retreated to a private room with his team. Harold outlined next steps: collecting liquidity, drafting affidavits, prepping Mendeecees for a potential cross-examination on past support communications. Tasha added, "We'll need him to testify clearly about every attempt he made to help Erica, including calls, texts, and financial offers." Mendeecees ran a hand through his hair. "Everything I did, I want the court to see. I'm not hiding." Erica spent her midday with a forensic accountant at a downtown cafe. They pored over spreadsheets detailing wire transfers, undisclosed rental incomes, questionable reimbursements from Mendeecees' production company. This line item labeled consulting services transferred $250,000, the accountant murmured. Erica's jaw clenched. "We'll subpoena the counterpart," she said. "Let the court see the trail." Meanwhile, Yandy drove in circles, unable to decide whether to call Mendeecees or Erica. She finally stopped at a park bench and dialed a family therapist she'd consulted after the scandal broke. "I feel stuck between love and justice," she admitted softly. "If I side with Erica, I betray his trust. If I side with him, I betray my daughter." The therapist's voice was gentle. "You don't have to choose a side. Protect your children by focusing on healthy co-parenting, regardless of their battle." Yandy closed her eyes as she hung up, a tear slipping down. At 2 p.m., the hearing resumed. The judge asked the clerk to read an anonymous letter submitted overnight, a purported confession from a former business partner accusing Mendeecees of diverting funds to hide assets. Gasps echoed. Monique raised an eyebrow. "We can verify this under oath." Harold protested. "Your Honor, this is hearsay, unverified." The judge nodded. "I will admit it for the limited purpose of establishing probable cause for further discovery, not as evidence of wrongdoing." Erica smiled inwardly. The confession was a game changer. If verified, it would justify the freeze entirely and reveal deeper deception. She scribbled a note, follow up on auditor. Afterward, Mendeecees met privately with Yandy in a courthouse hallway, away from cameras. She wore sunglasses but let him see her sober face. I'm worried about you, she said quietly. I don't want our kids to grow up thinking money solves everything. He reached for her hand. I'm sorry, he whispered. I screwed up, but I'll fix it. She pulled away gently. Fixing you isn't enough. I need to see change in action. That night, a late-night talk show host joked. Tonight's top story, Mena's asset freeze brought to you by impatient baby man was everywhere. Laughter tracked through the audience, but the following serious clip replayed Erica's deposition tears. The host leaned forward. Jokes aside, this is a real struggle affecting real families. Will our legal system protect moms like Erica? Tweet us your thoughts. Viewers chimed in. We need reform. Child support laws are broken. Erica's a trailblazer. Meanwhile, Mendeecees posted a brief video on his Instagram story. No filters, just plain video. I'm not perfect, he said. I made mistakes, but I love my children. I'll fight this because they deserve better. Fans responded with mixed reactions. Some praised his vulnerability, others labeled it damage control. The comment section read like a battlefield. Too little too late. He's trying. Yandy deserves better. Erica, scrolling through the responses, paused on one. You inspire everyone who's ever been abandoned. She smiled faintly and liked the comment. A friend texted, your strength is legendary. She typed back a heart. Yandy, awake late, read Mendeecees' message on her phone. After minutes of staring, she tapped reply. I'll believe change when I see it. For our kids' sake. She hit send, then exited the app. The next morning, Mendeecees arrived at the judge's chambers to negotiate a temporary relief order. Erica and Mena followed. Behind closed doors, voices rose, legalese flew, and eventually a compromise was drafted. Partial thaw on one account for legal and living expenses, stricter timeline for mediation sessions, and discovery documents due within 48 hours. Both parties emerged looking drained. The judge's clerk handed Erica a copy, signed. She tucked it into her folder without a word. Outside, Erica and Mendeecees passed each other briefly. He offered a nod. She nodded back. Cameras captured the fleeting moment. Fans reacted. Moment of peace? Maybe they can work together. But critics remained skeptical. Gossip columns the next day speculated on whether the compromise would last, whether hidden assets would surface, whether the relationship could ever heal. Through it all, the tension lingered, like smoke from a fire that refused to die. Part 3 ends here, with both sides mobilized, the battlefield shifting beneath them, and the next twist waiting to ignite. The night before the final hearing, Mena lay awake on her couch, laptop balanced on her knees. The forensic accountant had sent over a fresh batch of bank records, large wire transfers from a consulting group tied to Mendeecees' production company, direct deposits into an account overseas. Erica scrolled through the spreadsheets, her jaw clenched. Monique's voice came through on speakerphone. We submit these tomorrow morning, along with affidavits from the accountant and that former partner whose confession the judge allowed. Erica nodded to the empty room. Let's finish this. Meanwhile, Mendeecees paced in a rented conference room at his lawyer's office. Images of Erica's daughter flashed across his mind. Her first steps, her laughter, the way she called him Dada. He reached for his phone and dialed Yandy. She answered on the second ring. What's up? Her voice was tired. He swallowed. I need you tomorrow, in court. She paused. To testify? To support my request for partial relief, he said. I need you to say I've been there for you and the twins, that I haven't neglected my responsibilities completely. She'd exhaled. Fine, but only if you promise this ends the freeze. He hesitated, then agreed. Tuesday morning, the courthouse lobby felt electric. Journalists jockeyed for camera angles, fans lined up to catch glimpses, and gossip vloggers whispered conspiratorially. Inside the courtroom, Erica exchanged a brief nod with Monique. Across the aisle, Mendeecees greeted Yandy with a curt wave. The judge entered, eyes scanning the room, and called the session to order. We reconvene on the emergency motion. Will the parties present? Harold stood first, handing the judge a thick binder. Your Honor, before testimony, we have new evidence to submit. He looked at Mendeecees. This documentation shows additional income streams previously undisclosed, offshore accounts, shell entities, payments from third-party sponsors directly into personal accounts. We request these be added to the financial disclosure. Monique's lips pressed together. This was her evidence. He bleeped it ahead of her motion. The judge examined the documents. I will accept this evidence for discovery purposes, but not at this hearing. She sighed. Proceed with testimony. Yandy rose slowly. She wore a dark blazer, hair pulled back, face composed but weary. The clerk administered the oath. Yandy looked at Mendeecees and then the judge. I have been married to Mr. Harris for 10 years, she began. He has always provided for our twins, took them to school, paid their medical bills, even when he was struggling. He's never refused me money when I asked. She glanced at Mendeecees, who blinked back at her with gratitude. In the gallery, Erica's mother sat with her friends, faces tense. Erica closed her eyes, waiting. The judge asked, have there been instances where Mr. Harris failed to provide support or communication regarding your twins? Yandy paused. Yes, she admitted softly. During his tour last year, he was unresponsive. I had to cover daycare costs out of pocket, and sometimes I'd ask for help with the bills and get silence. A gasp rippled through the courtroom. The judge nodded. Harold seized the moment. Your Honor, while my client has generally supported his marital family, there are documented gaps, and these gaps coincide with the time frame of Ms. Mena's pregnancy and after. The judge turned to Monique. Does the plaintiff wish to cross-examine? Monique shook her head. No, Your Honor. Next, Erica's team took the floor for closing arguments on the emergency motion. Monique rose, voice steady despite the adrenaline. Your Honor, the freeze remains necessary. Partial relief via bond was insufficient, and the evidence shows Mr. Harris has hidden assets. Moreover, his inconsistent support for two families demonstrates lack of full commitment. Erica's daughter must be protected. Harold followed. Mr. Harris fully intends to meet his obligations. We request immediate unfreezing of 2 accounts to cover living expenses, legal fees, and childcare. He is prepared to discuss equitable distribution changes but needs access to funds. As the attorneys bowed, the judge rubbed her temples. I will rule in writing by end of day. She adjourned the hearing. Once out, cameras swarmed Erica. How do you feel? A reporter asked. Erica paused, glancing at Yandy. I feel hopeful. Justice is about accountability. She turned and left with Monique. Mendeecees approached Yandy in the hallway. She removed her blazer and took his hand. Thank you, he whispered. She offered a sad smile. I want this to end too. That afternoon, Erica reviewed social media chatter. Clips of Yandy's testimony spread like wildfire. Comments alternated between shock, Yandy exposed him, and sympathy, she's torn. Erica sighed. Her victory felt complicated. She messaged Monique. Let me know when it's over so we can talk strategy. Mendeecees slumped in his car when the news alert came. Judge rules to partially lift asset freeze. Accounts limited to household expenses only. He stared at the screen. Partial relief meant access to rent and utilities, but the bulk remained sealed. Relief plus sting, he dialed Harold. We appeal? Harold's voice crackled. We'll consider it, but you've got a hard deadline for full disclosure. After that, you risk contempt. At sunset, Erica and Monique met in a quiet cafe to review the judge's written opinion. The judge praised both parties' cooperation, but concluded that complete unfreezing would undermine the purpose of the initial order. Partial thaw would cover basic living costs, but discovery would continue. The freeze remains a necessary measure, the opinion read. Erica nodded. We got the money we need for now, she said, and he's forced to show all his cards. Yandy, watching from home, saw the headline, Mena secures funds. Mendeecees still frozen. She texted Mendeecees, "At least the kids will be okay." He replied, "Thank you." That night, gossip feeds hinted at a new twist. A rumored text message from Mendeecees to Erica, begging for a private settlement to avoid further damage. Erica stared at her phone, heart pounding. Should she respond? Monique's text arrived, "Don't." As midnight approached, Erica typed a message, "We settle. Full disclosure. Final hearing next week." She paused. Conflict rippled through her. Would a private deal betray her daughter's right to public accountability? She set the phone down unanswered, and with that cliffhanger hanging in the air, settlement or courtroom showdown, Part 4 ends, leaving the fate of two families and their futures poised on the knife edge of the next revelation. The courtroom drama has reached a fever pitch, and neither side has backed down. Mena secured the funds she needed to care for her daughter, but the freeze remains in place, forcing Mendeecees to lay his financial cards on the table. Yandy's crucial testimony exposed gaps in support, and the judge's partial relief gives everyone a taste of victory and a reminder that the real battle is far from over. Hidden accounts still lurk behind legal veils, settlement offers hang in the balance, and emotions are raw on all sides. You've watched as Erica transformed from scorned mother into fierce advocate, demanding accountability and transparency. You've seen Mendeecees wrestle with guilt, pride, and the desperate need to provide for both families he's created. You felt Yandy's heartbreak as she navigates loyalty, justice, and the future of her own children. Fans are still divided. Some cheer Erica's unyielding stance, others root for Mendeecees' redemption, and many worry about the toll this war will take on the kids caught in the crossfire. Now it's your turn. What do you think will happen in the next hearing? Will Erica accept a private settlement or push for full public disclosure? Can Mendeecees rebuild trust and regain control of his assets, or will he remain financially frozen until the final verdict? And where does Yandy stand in this fragile truce? Will she continue to mediate, or will she step back entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know which side you're on. Don't forget to like this video if you're following every twist and turn of this legal saga, and subscribe for instant updates when the next explosive chapter drops. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the inside scoop on love, lies, and courtroom showdowns. Until next time, stay tuned. And remember, in this drama, the real story begins when the gavel falls.